smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, hit that notification bell.
We arrive at Ocean's 11 Casino on a chilly 50-degree night, but you gotta keep in mind that 50 degrees in California is like 30 degrees on the East Coast or the Midwest, and now the poker room's held outdoors in an Oktoberfest-type beer tent, but instead of Löwenbräu or Spaten, we're greeted with the sounds of chip shuffling. We sit down and get right into it. We buy in for 400, which is the max at this 2-3 game, and we look down in middle position at Ace of Hearts, Queen of Hearts. Folds to me, and I raise it up to $14 here. My left calls, the button calls, and so does the small blind and the big blind. So we're going 5 ways to the flop. The flop with $70 in the pot comes 6 of diamonds, 9 of clubs, queen of diamonds. We flop top pair. It checks to me, and I bet 37 into 70. My left calls, and the big blind calls, but the small blind gets out of the way. Going 3 ways to the turn with 181 in the pot, which comes the 6 of clubs. Pairs the 6, which was the bottom pair. Not too much concern here. When we get called in 2 spots, we're probably up against a queen and maybe a diamond draw. The 6 of clubs doesn't scare us that often. Checks to me again, and I bet 115 now. My left calls for less, around $75, and the big blind folds. The river with $335 in the pot and the action closed comes to 5 of spades. The diamond draw bricks out, so I'm happy about that. Hopefully he has king queen or queen jack, one of those kind of hands. I show my hand, but he flips over the 6-9 of hearts and scoops with a boat. We love this game. Second hand of the night, we look down at ace deuce of diamonds with 325 in our stack. We're on the button. The under the gun position player limps, the cutoff raises to 12. I put in the call here, so we're going 3 ways to the flop. With $41 in the pot, the flop comes 3 of diamonds, jack of spades, king of clubs. We have none of it, but when it gets checked to me, I take a stab here for half pot. I bet 20. Under the gun folds, the cutoff folds, and we scoop a $61 pot. Easy game. We're just under starting stack now when we notice a friendly face who's just table changed and immediately gets to work winning everybody's chips. It's Rampage Poker. He's in LA on his West Coast poker tour, and if you haven't seen his videos, I'll link it in the description. Fun fact, between him and I, we have 1 WSOP bracelet. Go figure.
There we go, Ethan. There we go.
Got the ball through.
It doesn't take long for us to mix it up when Ethan opens it up to $15 from late middle position. We look down at ace of spades, queen of hearts from the button, and we pop him up to $40, but also get called by the small blind. Folds back around to Ethan, who calls for $25 more. I wouldn't expect him to go anywhere. 3 ways to the flop with 123 in the pot comes 10 of clubs, 6 of spades, 6 of clubs. Checks to me, and I make a pretty stupid bet here and just fire for $25. Small blind calls, and Ethan folds. The turn with 173 now in the pot comes to 8 of spades. Checks to me, and I check behind here. I'm not going to bet anymore. The river comes to 4 of hearts. He just palms a bunch of chips and starts to bet, but I immediately snap fold, giving up on the hand. Ethan says he would have won, but he forgot the most important rule. You got to pay to play.
I had the hand. Thank you.
Next hand, we look down at pocket 10s from the hijack. Middle position player raised to 12. I repop him to $35, and he puts in the call. Going heads up to the flop with $75 in the pot, which comes 4 of spades, 9 of clubs, deuce of diamonds. Pretty good board for pocket 10s here. We're putting him on a suited Broadway type of hand, or maybe a pocket pair underneath us. Hopefully it's not 9s. Checks to me, and I bet 30. He pretty quickly fold. He probably had 2 overcards and just didn't want to continue. Don't blame him.
Need some branding in the Wolfgang content, so.
Whoa. Dang.
Can't keep using those $5 chips as a card.
Dang, there's some good promotion here. With the I play once every 6 months. A lot of people are gonna see this.
Next hand, we pick up the beautiful ace queen of clubs in the under the gun +1 position. I raise it up to $15 over a limp from the UTG position. My left calls, the button calls, and the under the gun limper calls as well. So we're going 4 ways to a flop with around $62 in the pot. The flop comes 6 of clubs, queen of spades, deuce of spades. So we flop top pair, top kicker on a two spade board, checks to me, and I bet 30 into 60 here. I think we can size up a little. We want to protect our top pair against the flush and maybe gutters to a straight or something like that. We could probably size up to $45. I bet 30. And the button now raises to $60 and the under the gun position player folds. I think this is kind of strange here, but I just put in the call. I decided not to re-raise him. I wanted to see what he'd do on the turn. So with 182 in the pot, the turn comes the 9 of diamonds. Pretty safe card, I'd say. I check it over to the aggressor, and he unfortunately checks behind, so we know we're probably good here. He probably has a spade draw or a one pair type of hand, maybe a king, queen, queen, jack type of hand, and wants to keep the pot small for the river. The river with 182 in the pot comes a 10 of clubs, and I'm definitely not going to be checking it over to him again here because he's probably going to check behind. So I bet $105 here going for value, and he tank calls. We like that. We show our hand and are good, and ultimately scoop a $392 pot. Next hand, we look down at King of Hearts, Queen of Clubs from the under the gun position. I raise it up to $14. Folds to the big blind, who puts in the call, so we're going heads up to the flop with around $30 in the pot. The flop comes deuce of clubs, jack of clubs, 6 of spades, checks to me, and I check back behind here. The turn with $30 in the pot comes a 10 of hearts, which does give us an open-ended straight draw here. The big blind now leads into me for $24, so either he has a jack, or maybe he just thought we were weak when we checked back on the flop. So I raise him up to $60 here. Either this is going to get him to fold and we're going to take it down here with no made hand, or regardless we can make a bet on the river if we hit our straight or an overcard, and if we miss we can still represent stuff because we raised him on the turn. He quickly puts in the call, so we're going to the river with $150 in the pot. The river comes the 9 of spades, which is a great card for us. It gives us the straight. He checks it over to us, which we expected, and I bet half pot here for $75. I'm targeting a jack. I think that's really what makes sense here. He probably has a one pair type of hand, most likely a jack. So I bet half pot here. I want him to call, and that's what he does. We show and scoop a $300 pot, which is always great.
Thank you.
Last hand of the night, we look down at King Jack of Clubs from the under the gun position, and I raise to $15. It gets called by the button and the big blind. At this point, Ethan has already racked up all his chips, and I'm on my way out. Going to the flop three ways with $47 in the pot comes ace, deuce, 4, all clubs. So we flop the nut flush, the king of clubs here, so we cannot lose his hand unless the board pairs and some other random stuff happens. He gets checked to me, and I bet 25 into 47 here. The button calls. The turn with 97 in the pot comes the 8 of clubs, brings another club on board. I check here to the button, hoping to show weakness, maybe putting myself on an ace when I raised under the gun pre, and now that there's 4 clubs, maybe he'll think that I don't have a club and bet. That's not what he does. He checks behind, unfortunately. The river with 97 in the pot comes a 10 of hearts, and he has less than 100, close to it, somewhere between 85 and 100, and there's 97 in the pot, so I just put them all in for that, betting 1 white chip, and he ultimately finds a fold, which is unfortunate, but what a way to end the night with the flopped flush.
We made money.
How much we make?
Like 206.
Boy.
What about you?
Had a good day. I think like 1,000 even in the 2-3, and then like 600 and 2-5.
Yeah, you were running over our table.
Oh yeah, it wasn't fair. Just kept picking up hands, and yeah, it was a good time.
Did you just say mine is good quality? Wow, I appreciate that.
Yeah. If you haven't subscribed already, you like 20,000 views, and you only
Yeah,
how many
why
subscribers?
why are 20,000 people watching my video, but I only have 5K subs?
Smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, hit that notification bell.
Yo, but in all seriousness, thanks for tuning into this video. Played for around 4 hours, made around $200. This dude absolutely crushed it, but I'm gonna get him next time at the Gardens Casino in like 2 days before he flies back to the East Coast. But yeah.
Now whoop.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta put it out there, right? You gotta manifest it.
All right, we'll see in the next video how it goes.
We're also being kind of risky right now with the mask, and we're in a casino, but hit the thumbs up button, subscribe please, because we got weekly videos coming out here for the foreseeable future. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!
Definitely up, because you're seeing this video in like December.
Vlogception, look at this, the B-roll. Dude, get the B-roll.
Check out the third.
Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.